Welcome to Week and Geek, your new comics preview for May 8th. I'm Mike Ortiz.
I'm the Chris Brown.
What do you got?
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to my sweetie as well. It is Kelly's birthday today, so happy birthday, sweetie.
Happy birthday.
All right, I'm going to start out here. We got an image number 1 written by Steve Niles with art by Tony Harris. This is Chin Music, number 1. I'm not really sure what it's about. It looks it's going to be horror in some regard because it's Steve Niles. It looks a little noirish, detective-y, but okay, it looks like something in Egypt.
Some great artwork.
Fantastic artwork, and that's what's drawing me to the book. You know, I haven't read a lot of Steve Niles stuff. I never really read the 30 Days a Night. I saw the first movie, and it was okay. Haven't read a lot of his stuff. Usually if there's an artist attached to a book that I like, then I'll pick something up that Steve Niles is doing. Was liking that Frankenstein Alive, because it was Bernie Wrightson drawing Frankenstein. And now I'm attracted to Tony Harris's artwork here. Because anyone who knows me knows I have a giant tattoo on my arm of the shade and the Zodiac Compass from Starman. So I'm going to follow whatever Tony Harris is doing next because I'm a fan of his art. It looks like it has the same design sense as the old Starman stuff. Looks really, really cool, but weird and horror.
Cool.
So I'm interested in that one. Next, I've got Legend of Oz, Wicked West, number 7. This is the ongoing book. I really like this book. I think the art's solid, and I like the reimagining of Wizard of Oz. I think it's kind of fun and interesting. Just sort of an interesting take on Oz, and I like those folks at Big Dog Inc. I think they're some great people and putting out some great comic books. And that leads me into the spin-off of Legend of Oz. We've got a Legend of Oz, The Scarecrow, number 1. This is got a great cover by Nia Rufino. I think she does just some awesome stuff. This is the writer is Pat Shand, artist is Carlos Reno, with colors by Kate Finnegan, who does some great stuff. Just kind of a neat character, that Scarecrow from the original miniseries. And I'm curious to see what they're going to do here. Perhaps this is her origin, it looks like, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe she's already Scarecrow at this point, but it's some sort of story involving her and focusing on that character, and I'm curious about that. Next, I've got Thor, God of Thunder, number 8. This is more of that God Bomb. This is God Bomb Part 2, which is continuing that whole God Slayer story. It's going in past, present, and future Thors all trying to fight this God Slayer. Just fantastic artwork, really, really cool stuff, and a neat Thor story. I think Jason Aaron is doing some great job here, some great work here, just doing a great job. I hadn't really followed a lot of his stuff before. He was a writer that if he was writing a book that I was already reading, then I'd give it a go, and that's kind of what I stumbled into. But this is a very, very different take on this character, and I think what I've discovered is I'm not a Thor fan per se, but I like it when Thor stories are good. And I did like what Straczynski was doing, and I kind of kept reading. And then when Fraction came on, I lost interest in what was going on. That whole storyline, made me, the fear itself or whatever, made me lose interest. And then I picked back up with Jason Aaron here, and I'm really liking it. I think it's some good stuff.
Cool.
Then I'm looking at Harbinger number 12. This is continuing the Harbinger Wars. This is probably one of my favorites over there at Valiant right now. I think this has just been a really, really cool book. I've always liked the characters, and I like the reimagining of this here. It's not too far off from where the original series was. Some of the characters are a little different, but at the root of it, at the heart of it, they're pretty much the same. Now, this is kind of cool, too. It looks like there is a Harbinger Wars game coming up for your iPhone. It comes with an app game, and it looks like it's 8-bit style, like old school Nintendo. So I might have to check that out. That looks pretty neat. Great book, though. I like how originally I thought this Harbinger Wars was going to be kind of their Unity event. It's crossing across everything. It's not. They just decided to tie in Bloodshot, Harbinger. Probably a better idea than making everyone suddenly have to pick everything up. And then in the meantime, you've got the big thing going on in Exo Manowar with their storyline there. And I like that they're focusing in and letting the characters breathe and do their own thing rather than rushing a crossover at us too quickly.
Smart move.
It's been good. Then I've got Walking Dead issue 110. This is, oftentimes this will find its way at the top of the stack and be my top pick. But this is sort of, this is a little breather issue, more or less. What is it? I think, is it, are we right around the end of that storyline? Or how would that work out? So 103 through 108 would have been the previous story arc. And then 109, was the start of the next story arc. Now 110 is the second part. It's slow. It's basically just, there's a cliffhanger at the end of the first one. They're following up with that, and then they introduce us more to Ezekiel. And, basically anytime they've got I hate to say it, but anytime they introduce another black character, here comes Michonne. And that's what they do with her every time. Well, this time it's a character flirting with her. And she's not too sure because I think she knows her history and, well, I don't know. And let's face it, this guy's kind of a cosplaying weirdo, pretending there's some kind of feudal kingdom in the post-zombie apocalypse. Kind of interesting stuff. But this is just takes a little breather, introduces you to the concepts, sort of reintroduces that little dangling plot thread they had from the first one. And war is coming. They are getting ready to go to war with Negan, and they're trying to get a bunch of groups together, the Hilltop, Rick's group, and now Ezekiel's people. And they think, well, this ragtag group that Rick's got, they seem like they're a bunch of fighters. So if this was ever our chance to fight Negan, now's the time. And that's kind of what they're doing, is just basically introducing us to where they might be getting to go. It was a slow issue, kind of breather, lots of information.
Cool. I just like the idea of zombies versus cosplay weirdos. Can we get some cosplay zombies, maybe?
It's like they're borderline just at a comic convention. Like the backdrop's going to fall. Like, we were just at San Diego Comic-Con the whole time. So that takes me through the bulk of my stack. What are you looking at?
I'm starting off with The Hunted, number 5. This is the split book. It's written by Keith Giffen. The first half is this kind of Green Lantern whose ring is embedded in his chest. I've not been enjoying the first storyline here, but this one's got Brainiac, so I might actually check it out, see what's going on there. I always like Brainiac as a Superman villain. The main reason I'm getting this book is the backup with Larfleeze. Still Keith Giffen, but it's Scott Collins on the artwork. This has really been a lot of fun. Someone has stolen all of Larfleeze's stuff, which for Larfleeze means they've stolen his life. They try to find out who it is, and apparently it might be Larfleeze himself or one of his constructs. It's weird, funny, crazy stuff. We've got
awesome.
We've got a construct of the Guardian. I don't remember which Guardian that he had. This looks like it might be Sade.
Okay.
Is that it? But yeah, this is strange stuff. Larfleeze is a fun character, and Keith Giffen is one of the best kind of humor writers in mainstream comics. Soon Larfleeze is spinning out into his own book, and I'll probably drop this one and replace it with Larfleeze. Next up, Batman number 20. I actually realized today that I didn't read 19, so I don't know what's going on. It looks like we've got what's that guy's Clayface, and some cool Batman armor that looks a little bit like Batman Beyond's armor. A little black and red thing going on.
I love Capullo's artwork on Batman.
Great stuff. Capullo's doing a great job. Snyder's doing a great job. I actually I don't know how I missed it. Usually Batman's at the top of my stack, but the last one just sort of slipped through. There's a lot of stuff going on last month.
Yeah, a little bit.
Next up, Iron Man 258.2. When I made .1 my pick last week, I didn't realize that this was going to be something that was going on.
Like a mini-series? Is that essentially what it is?
This must be a mini-series. Maybe they're doing a weekly book. I haven't read it yet. I didn't get to a lot of last week's books. I got a little distracted by some of the Free Comic Book Day stuff. But again, this is David Michelinie and Bob Layton doing Iron Man. It's set during the Iron Wars 2, which I guess is why it's 258. But I just saw the Iron Man movie over the weekend.
Did I.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I mean, certainly there are issues, but overall I had fun. So I'm in a good Iron Man place, and this is a good way to feed that need, I guess.
It's a fun movie, and it was a nice way to kick off the summer and kind of... You get those trailers ahead of time. I got a trailer for the Wolverine and Thor.
Okay, I didn't get that.
As well as Star Trek. But it had me kind of excited about all these movies coming up here and just everything they're doing. And I liked Iron Man. As everyone kind of seems to be saying, it's not as good as the first, better than the second. Kind of, we were talking about it earlier. It kind of does its own thing. It's different than the other two. But there, it also has a similar feeling in there a little bit with the way they attack the storyline. I liked it. I thought it was fun. It was a really fun movie, and I was there with a 7-year-old, so you're going to have fun. Every 10 minutes, he kept leaning over and telling me how awesome the movie was. So I had a great time.
Yeah, it was definitely. I enjoyed it a lot. It's not the Avengers. It doesn't try to be the Avengers. It shouldn't be the Avengers.
Correct.
It's an Iron Man movie, and I think this is actually a very good Iron Man movie.
Did Shane Black walk in on his mom sleeping with Santa Claus when he was a little kid, though? Is that why every time Christmas? Why? Every movie is set at Christmas time. Why?
I don't know.
Iron Man doesn't even need to be set at Christmas. There's nothing that happens that's Christmas specific.
No.
Other than Shane Black. Shane Black is the only Christmas specific thing that happens in that movie.
You remove the Christmas from the movie, and it doesn't change a beat. So, next up, I've got Green Lantern Corps number 20. This is the epilogue to Wrath of the First Lantern, which is strange because the conclusion is in Green Lantern 20, which hasn't come out yet. So if you do pick this up...
It's like time traveling.
Don't look at page 3 because it spoils the ending. So if you're going to pick it up, don't flip through it like I did because now I know how what is probably going to be the better of the two issues. Why DC couldn't have just held this back for a week or two, I don't know. I get it, they need to put stuff out. But shipping the epilogue before you slip the conclusion, not a great idea, especially when this is wrapping up this massive Green Lantern run by Jeff Johns. Years in the making. Was it 9 years now?
It's so unlike DC to screw anything up, too. So that's where I'm shocked.
So that's just kind of funny. Didn't Marvel I expect this from. They like doing stuff like that. But yeah, this is the epilogue, and it does spoil the ending. So don't read it until after you read 20, unless you don't care. And there's a lot of stuff in here, though. I mean, it looks like we get some nice resolution with Guy Gardner as he moves on to the new book that he's going to be in. Next up, we've got Uncanny Avengers number 8. This has actually been a lot of fun. This storyline I've enjoyed. It's got the Apocalypse twins, the children of Apocalypse. They have gotten a hold of a mystical hammer that Thor actually, not hammer, axe.
Okay.
That Thor actually kind of helped out enchanting so that it has the ability to kill a god. And they use it to kill a Celestial, which is a big deal. And that's kind of setting the tone for some stuff. This is going to be a nice, big, kind of earth-shattering. There's lots of explosions and people burning.
Is that
ashes.
Sunspot on the cover?
That is Sunspot. He's joining this group. Or cool. He joined the group. This is the merged Avengers mutant team.
Well, I was like, I have a soft spot for any of those X-Force characters from when I was a teenager.
Oh, nice.
So,
but this has been a lot of fun. It's a big apocalyptic book that doesn't fit into Hickman's big apocalyptic book. So this will be a nice self-contained
Earth is screwed in the Marvel Universe. How they make it, I don't know.
We've got 3 different apocalypses going at any given time.
Explains why there's so many Watchers.
True. But I certainly would not want to be living on this Earth. Every Avengers book basically has its own apocalypse. This one is tying into the Celestials. Great art by Daniel Acuna. Certainly, it was sad to see Cassidy go, but they found a good replacement, I think. So that's my stack.
All right. Well, I guess it brings me to the top of my stack here this week. I'm looking at Archer and Armstrong number 0. I am really enjoying the 0 issues from Valiant so far. Last week did not end up having anything to do with Shadow Man's dad. I thought maybe that's what it was going to be, an origin of the Shadow Man. It was actually an origin for Master Dark and Sandria Dark, which I thought was so cool. So this one, it looks like we've got all the brothers on the cover, and then it looks like Time Walker's in there too. So I'm guessing, what I like what the Valiant Universe is doing right now is there were so many characters in the previous universe, and it got to a point when it started to get bogged down because they gave them all their own title. They are not doing this yet. They're following that original model that Jim Shooter had, and hey, you can have a character that you can just put in other books.
Right.
They don't all have to have their own title. And that's what they had done with the Eternal Warrior and Archer and Armstrong, and I thought they made him a really strong character. And that's what I'm hoping they're doing here, is just introducing the 3 brothers. That's what it looks like. Doing some backstory with them, and I hope we essentially get a little Time Walker story here. Because it'd be nice to see some stuff with him without just giving him his own book. But we shall see what they do. Some kind of weird Cthulhu thing. So there's dinosaurs. So it does look like they're messing around there. Maybe, who knows? Maybe we can get a little allusion to some Turok stuff. But I think Turok's over at Dark Horse maybe still. So we can't get any of that.
Turok and Magnus are not Valiant books.
Which is neither Solar, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah. But so I'm looking forward to that. I think those 0 issues have been fun.
Cool. Very cool.
What are you looking at?
My top is going to be Avengers. This is number 11. This was a light week overall. Following up
Yes.
Free Comic Book Day, not a lot of big books coming out. So my top of the stack is basically just going to be a tried and true, tested book, and that's The Avengers by Jonathan Hickman. I was lukewarm on Hickman's Avengers when they started. First couple issues
Sure.
I thought really didn't kind of take off. I was actually thinking, oh, wow, am I going to not only drop an Avengers book,
But a Hickman
book? But it actually turned out he was just kind of biding his time a little bit.
Yes.
It's really picked up. It's really kicking a lot of butt.
And is that Shang-Chi on the cover?
That is, it looks like it's Shang-Chi.
So now Shang-Chi's an Avenger and Hickman's writing them. I want to see what that does.
And this looks like it's changing the tone pretty quickly. We're away from the new universe. It looks like this is kind of a smaller, subtler.
It looks like they're drawing him as Bruce Lee, though.
Yeah.
And what's the title of the issue? Something the Dragon? Go back to that first page.
Wake the Dragon.
Okay.
Well, he was sleeping.
Not Enter the Dragon, but Wake the Dragon.
But
all right.
yeah, this is a little bit. This is going to be kind of some more of the espionage. There's no space. There's casinos. It looks like Hong Kong or China or something like that. So yeah, this is going to be a different tone that we've got, which is great because we had some big cosmic apocalyptic stuff. So he's taking a break from the apocalypse for a little while to give us some Bruce Lee, James Bond action before he goes back to a big apocalypse with Thanos, because that was the Free Comic Book Day issue.
Yes.
That was quite good. That I
It
read
was good.
instead of Batman or anything else. But yeah, that's my top pick.
Well, yeah, decent stuff. May not have been a huge week, but
No.
some good stuff this week. And again, that gives you some time to catch up on your Free Comic Book Day books. We had a great time in here, so I want to thank everyone who stopped in. I thought that was very cool. It was great to see everybody. And hope everyone got a chance to see the Avenger, or rather Iron Man, this weekend. I was just barely got to see it myself. But yeah, with that is your Week in Geek.